Summer? Oh, I don't know why, but I've always loved the idea of summer and sun and all things hot.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the channel if this is your first time. I'm at the beach just a few yards away from my house, and basically I thought it'd be nice to do my summer reads recommendations in this video by the beach, by the sea, not too far away from Spitbank Fort over there. And there's the Isle of Wight there, and there's Hailing Island over there. It's clear sky, definitely summer is about. So I thought it'd be really nice to do a video recommending 10 summer reads. So summer reads for me, it's about light and fluffy, but still really good. So really good content, nice juicy book with lots of great characters, a great story, and all sorts of different genres I'm looking at, by the way, here. But nothing too complicated or mind-bending for you, as it's a summer read, you want to relax, that's what I'm going with. So, first off is John Wyndham, The Midwich Cuckoos. So this is from 1957. It's a really good read, it's a really good story. It might be a familiar story because it's been, it's influenced a lot of things. So it's about a small village, like a fictional village in England, where any woman in the village that could possibly get pregnant faints inexplicably because of an alien takeover, and they wake up and they're pregnant, and it starts a big alien takeover. So that's how this starts, and it goes on from there. It's a really good story, it's got a great ending, and a lot of people think it's their favourite John Wyndham book. My favourite is Day of the Triffids, but it's such a brilliant book, really is. Couldn't recommend it enough. The next one is by Stephen King, Joyland, and this is a really good kind of ghost story, kind of a relationship story. It's one of his better recent books, and it's set in an amusement park called Joyland, and there's this mystery about this ghost that's apparently haunting the ghost train. I think it's the ghost train, and it's about someone who starts working at this place, Joyland, and it's just a really good book with really good relationships in it. Really good character work, as you'd expect from Stephen King, and it's just a really good read. So Joyland is a really good one from relatively recently, so this is one of his recent ones. So this came out in 2013, so quite a recent Stephen King book. This one comes from 2013 again, actually. So this is from Cassandra Parkin, and this is The Summer We All Ran Away. So this is set in summer, and it's a really, really good character book. So there's two interconnected stories, one from the past and one from the present day. Someone's playing some music behind me. The present day story is about these kids that eventually find this house that they've been kind of squatting in because it's been derelict, and it's been looked after by this couple who are basically taking in runaways and strays. So that's kind of like some character building stuff that's happening in that storyline, and it's interlinked with another storyline from an old rock star and his connection to the house. It's really good. The Summer We All Ran Away, definitely recommend it, by Cassandra Parkin. Nice summer read, I think. This one's a bit bigger. This is from, I think it's 2018, but I'm going to double check, see if it is 2017. Nicholas Eames, Kings of the Wild. I absolutely love this, and I've recommended it a few times on the channel. It's a brilliant book, but I didn't recommend it in last summer's 10 summer reads. It's a bit more of a chunky one, but it doesn't feel like that. You race through it really quickly. And the boys are back in town. It's a reference to this band of mercenaries that get back together again to rescue one of the band of mercenaries' daughter. And it's just a really, really good book. It's very funny. You really get invested in characters. You really feel for them. And you just can't put it down. It's really good. Kings of the Wild is definitely a very positive, uplifting, fun and thrilling fantasy. So just a quick note, actually, Ollie from Criminality said he didn't like the world building in fantasy books, and sometimes there's a bit much, and this is definitely a good example of not too much world building in a really successful and entertaining book that's in the fantasy realm. So Kings of the Wild, really cool. This is another book, an old book. This is from the 50s. So when did this come out? This came out in 1962. Sorry, not the 50s. But this is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. It's a fantastic book. It's my favourite Ray Bradbury book, which is a big statement because he's possibly my favourite author. So it's a big statement to make, but I love this book. And it's another fun fair comes to town, sinister fun fair comes to town kind of thing. And it's run by Mr. Dark. And this sort of sinister carnival fun fair thing has this ride that can play around with age, and it can age you or it can de-age you depending on what direction it goes in. And the people of the town interact with the carnival and the Mr. Dark, and you know, it kind of goes from there. I won't spoil it too much, but it's fantastic, and it really is a meditation on age, I think, and the way that we have to deal with getting old and the regrets of getting old and what it feels like to be young as well. So yeah, Something Wicked Is Becomes, fantastic book from Ray Bradbury. I didn't recommend this last year in the summer reads, so I'll recommend it now. Pretty much a universally loved book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams. Very funny, very original, although if you've seen my Robert Sheckley book, my Robert Sheckley video, you might know that I don't feel it's completely original, but it is original, and it's got a fantastic take on science fiction. Anyone can read it who is not necessarily into science fiction. It's a lot of fun, and it's very short as well, so you won't, you know, it's a good summer read for that as well, but you will enjoy it. Guaranteed you'll enjoy it. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, fantastic. This is a Western, but I've recently read this and I couldn't recommend it enough. It's a really good, fun story with great characters, really, really cool ending, a really nice sort of set piece at the end. But you really care for the people in it, especially Matty, and it's just a really good book. So if you're not used to reading Westerns, you'll probably really like it. But either way, couldn't recommend True Grit enough. By Charles Portis, made famous by two very famous and successful films, the most recent one done by the Coen brothers. Yeah, True Grit is a really good book, and it is actually from 1968. 1968 this comes from, but it really is a great book, and it feels quite modern as well. This is a Matt Haig book, so I don't think Matt Haig is always successful. So I've read a bunch of his books now, and this is miles ahead of all the other ones I've read. They're not awful, the other ones, but they're nowhere near as good as this. So if you've read anything by you might have read Midnight Library, which got a lot of publicity, and I think it's the ones that have raved about it, I think they've overrated it, and the ones that have just dismissed it as awful, I think that's a little bit of a shame, but it's not massively successful. This really is. I think this is a fantastic book, The Humans, and it's like an alien comes to Earth, takes the place of a scientist because he wants to change, or the alien race wants to change the course of human history, and in the process gets involved in family life, and very significantly gets involved in the scientist's son's life, who's suffering from depression. And it's really, really good. It's quite funny. The last bit, there's one big bit at the end, there's like this thing at the end here, so there I can just see it, this bit at the end around there. That's just one of the best things I've ever read, where it's a list of what the alien's advice to the family. It's so brilliant. But yeah, read it if you kind of think it's an interesting plot and you haven't been put off by anything else by Matt Haig yet, and you're up for something that's funny and really thought-provoking and well-written. It's very, very good. Hiromi Kawakami I've talked about before a number of times, and I think she's a really good writer. This is still my favourite one I've read, and this was the first one I read by her, Strange Weather in Tokyo. It's about a woman in her 30s who meets up with her old teacher who's in his 60s in a cafe, and basically they start a romantic relationship from this initial kind of meeting that is kind of rekindling their sort of relationship. But obviously as older people, it can then go further, and it's really, really good. It's really interesting. You really care about them. It's really interesting the way it's written, because it doesn't go where you think it's going to go. And the character that she calls Sensei, which is interesting because it's even at that age, even when they're both adults, she's still calling him essentially master or sir. That relationship is done really well, and he is still kind of got this relationship with her that kind of hasn't seemed to have grown up. So it's really interesting. It's really well written, and you do care for the characters again. So Strange Weather in Tokyo, Hiromi Kawakami. And then last one is an amazing book that, again, I have recommended before, but not for a while. And I really love this author, Claire North, and the First 15 Lives of Harry August. If you're into finding a plot that's really interesting, really compelling, kind of like a thriller kind of thing, but with an interesting concept, this is really good science fiction. It's very good character work. It's written brilliantly, and this is her most popular book. It's not my favourite book of hers, but it's definitely her most popular book, and for very good reason. It's a new kind of twist on time travel, but it's not really time travel. Harry August keeps getting reborn into the same body, and every time he's reborn, he remembers the memories from previously, and that ends up being used for this really interesting plot that ends up being mixed in with a mission that he has to complete that's connected to the past and the future. It's really cool. So Harry August, really good. I couldn't recommend it enough. So there we go. So I'll just double check, but I think that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 books. I'll just let you watch the beach for a little bit longer. I hope you have a really good summer, and I hope you find some really good reading. Please tell me below in the comments any other recommendations you've got for summer. But I thought it'd be nice to do this at the beach, and I've done it in a slightly different place. So I've propped this up at the Coast Guard bit. No one's here because it's 9 o'clock at night. I can see that the clouds are turning red, so we're getting a little bit of a sunset developing, which is lovely. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.